This new Freightliner here will be going to David Spoon. David first started driving for me in 1998.
When and how did you first meet the Hollands?
I worked for his brother Dennis at Holland Enterprises, but I separated from that company and was still wanting to work as an OTR driver. And I called his brother's company back asking to come back to work, but they said they knew of his brother Bob, and so he gave me the phone number, and I called and asked him for work, and he gave me work, and that's how I met him.
When did you first experience the transportation industry?
First experience would have been New Year's of '93. I got into it because my current job at the time was like $10,000 a year in '92. It was terrible. And I just wanted to make better money, and I was in a rut with my current job at the time. A stepdad of mine, I knew he was a trucker. I reached out to him. He lived in a different state. And he said, well, come out to visit with him, and he tried to introduce me to a trucking school. I completed it and tested for my CDL and got hired, and I've been a trucker ever since 1993.
So when did you first start at GPT?
First time was in '98. It only went for 3 months. At that time, like almost every load I was getting was like multi-delivery or multi-pickup loads. I wasn't cutting the mustard with those types of loads, LTL. And I told Bob, I said, I don't want to do these kind of loads. But then about 3 years later in 2001, things worked out such that I reached back out to him and asked him for work again, and I've worked for him ever since 2001.
How would you describe the experience of working here? Have you experienced like the company's changes over time?
When I first worked for him, I think it was like a 1994 FLD 120 model Freightliner. He partnered with his brother. I guess that's how it worked out that we got bumped up into the newer trucks, like at the time, I think a 97 Century. And then from that point on, since, I've averaged a new truck maybe every 3 years working for Bob. Every 3 years it's been like the updated new semi Freightliners, Centuries, Cascadias, a couple of Peterbilts. Always challenging, always updating, which, you know, holds interest. I mean, if you're looking forward to a next new truck in a few years, I mean, you look forward to that. The job after a while, regardless of new trucks or new people dispatching you or new customers that you go show up at, and regardless of all those things, it basically boils down to driving, and that's the rut that I'm referring to. But because of the great paycheck that it is, keep with it. Just keep making that great money.
How would you describe like the atmosphere and the environment of the people working here?
Most everybody here is purposely friendly to all the drivers. Like, there's been times when I've been on a horse, you know, about something not going well, and they sense it. I think they sense it in every driver when a driver's having a bad time or a bad day, but they still seem to be friendly to the driver in spite of it, you know.
Can you see yourself working here for a while longer?
Yes, I'm all the time nearing retirement age, and the way to avoid changing is to hang in there and keep at it and steady as it goes, and that's my mindset towards it. I'm thankful to Bob and thankful to Mike, even though I know there's been some occasions over the years where they could have made use of an incident or something similar to say, hey, you know, we'd like to separate. But they didn't, you know. I would extend that to all the people that work inside the building, the dispatchers and the mechanics. Even though sometimes I'll get upset about a customer, how they're treating the driver, namely me, or if something's happening with the equipment and I call the mechanics and maybe I'm being grumpy. Everybody still makes their best effort to be friendly back to me in spite of how grumpy I might be being to them. So I'm also grateful to the people that Bob has working here that treat the drivers that way.